at Venues, Parks and Arts, we really operate off of 4 impact drivers. It's all about social equity, health and wellness, neighborhood and economic impact, and ecological stewardship. Now, ecological stewardship really encompasses all of the things we do throughout, not just in parks. It's easy to think about trees and grass and green space and water and the rivers and the sky and outdoors and think about ecological stewardship, but really in and around our venues. How we're using environmental friendly, dish soap at the convention center, or using cloth instead of paper, or recently introduced recycling bins at the Performing Arts Center. Those types of things are critical to us, but it really does manifest itself throughout the parks in a really dynamic way. We have designed Howard Park in particular to be the country's first LEED version 4 gold facility. That's really important to us. Each version of LEED gets more and more strict to follow, and so this is version 4 now that we're on, and Howard really shines through as a great example of what it means. What do we see here at Howard that talks about ecological stewardship? We put solar panels on the roof. That's, everybody thinks about that as kind of a no-brainer, but that's important. We know that the solar this past summer on an average day is producing enough power to generate, to run 4 households, 4 homes every day here at Howard Park. We're producing enough power for that. We re-prairied a portion of the park. We really thought through this when we were designing Howard Park and said, hey, parks aren't for cars. Parks are for people. Parks are for trees. And so we took the parking lot out of Howard Park, put on-street parking, and expanded the neighborhood parking lot across the street. That allowed us to reclaim about 10% of green space in the park. We also re-prairied an area down near the river. If you believe in climate change and rising water levels throughout the country, throughout the world, you'll know that we're experiencing some of that here in South Bend. We've had 2 back-to-back historic floods in 17 and 18 in South Bend. So we needed to build a space for the river to be able to grow and breathe, and so we built a natural prairie along the riverfront that does a couple of things. It serves as pollinator gardens, it serves as natural habitat for native species, but it also allows a space for the river to breathe and grow naturally without disrupting the recreational amenities that we have here in the park. That was important to us as well. Also serves as an educational tool. We show people what native prairie looks like, what the space looked like before any of us perhaps were ever even here. And that's throughout the entire system, not just down there at the Re-Prairied spot. You'll come into Howard Park and realize when you're using the bottle filler station for the water fountain, it'll tell you about how many gallons of water we have saved or how many pounds of plastic we've saved by using water filling stations, as opposed to people carrying around plastic water bottles. And some other things that you might not notice are the fact that we recycle the shaved ice that comes off of the ice trail in the winter. We take that in and melt it down and recycle it back into the system, so we're not sending that all to the stormwater system. We reclaim all of the stormwater, in fact, on site here. It all gets managed. None of it goes to the sewer system, so it all goes down into that native prairie. The lighting that you see in Howard Park, we've even put some strong thought into that in terms of it being night sky compliant, meaning all our lights have hood systems in them. They're not polluting the sky overnight. They're the color temperature that is a little bit warmer, so it's not that blue, bright white light that would mess with both human and animal circadian rhythms. That tends to mess with migration patterns and otherwise. So in the nights, when the park's closed in the night too, the lights dim down even to a lower level, enough so that the park is safe, but again, it's not polluting the dark sky. So those types of things were really important to us. Even the materials that we selected throughout Howard Park, regional limestone, reclaimed limestone that's here on the event center, the limestone outcroppings throughout the park, every single tree that is in the park is native to Indiana, as well as the 30,000 plantings that you see are native. And so we took careful measures to ensure all of these things were thought through in a really deliberate way to make the park a good steward of our environment, one that is sustainable. And for me, that's what makes a place like South Bend, like Howard Park, Venues, Parks and Arts, and everything we do special. It's not only about fun and games. You know, people often look at my job and say, hey, this is great, you get to do events and you have parks and you have venues and you make people happy and you make people smile and it must be a great job. It is, but it's also about the why behind what we do. Those kind of first principled reasons that we always come back to, and that is what is rewarding about what we do.